Hi ladies, welcome back to another video. I am Nina, and today we're going to be speaking about the level up schedule, what it is, why you should have one, and I'm going to share some practical examples of what I have developed around my level up schedule that might help you if you know this is where you're at, right? So let's get straight into it. Why do you need a level up schedule? Okay, what is a level up schedule? Now, if you're like me and you're starting your level up journey from a place of doing basically nothing, no makeup, no hair, um, no extra feminine anything, right? If that's where you're starting, great. And what happened to me is I felt very overwhelmed when I, started doing some research and trying to figure out, what would look best on me, what would work with my specific look, right? From my body type to my skin tone to my features, all of that kind of stuff. Okay. So it just became information overload. There's videos, there's tutorials, there's just so many things out there that it becomes difficult to process that information and it becomes even more difficult to implement it. So eventually, what I decided to do is I decided to develop a schedule that will help me to try on, different looks in a pace that made sense to me and I could literally break it down and not feel so overwhelmed. So that's why I developed a level up schedule for myself. That's basically what a level up schedule is, according to me. And this is something that I feel like if you're starting from scratch or if you're starting from the basics, it might also help you to process everything that you are taking in terms of information and then help you to actually implement it in a meaningful way and a structured way. Okay, so that's why you should have one as well, so that you don't have that over analysis paralysis happening. Because what happens, and I've seen it with other ladies that I help as well, is that because there's just too many things, you end up feeling like, it's too much. Never mind. I'll just do the bare minimum or next to nothing that I've been doing this whole time. It's fine. So to avoid that, we want to break it down into manageable pieces. So let me give you some practical background in terms of what I did. So what I did is I basically blocked out weeks at a time, okay? And in that week, my week would start on a Sunday to Saturday, basically. In that week, what I would do is I would focus on one specific look. Okay. So, what do I mean by look? So, I started with makeup because I knew that was something that was a very big challenge for me. And I knew that if I could get that, it would really change a lot of things for me. Okay. So, week one, what I would do is, or what I did is, on Sunday, I would literally research. Okay. I would research based on what I had. And the best place for me to start was my eyeshadow palette, right? Because that was something that I was hopeless at. And I felt like that's where I wanted to start. Okay. So I started with my eyeshadow palette. I looked at the colors that were on there, and based on the colors that I knew were complementary to my skin tone, I started researching those makeup looks. So whether it was videos or tutorials or Pinterest photos, it didn't matter. I would literally spend Sunday evening downloading all of those looks and then I would decide which ones I was going to try out. So I'd probably come up with like 3 or 4 looks for that week and, save them on my phone. Then what I did was on the Monday, and this was like hard lockdown time, right? So even though I was working from home mostly. So I would just wake up extra early so that I had enough time to try certain things out, right? So Monday, I would wake up and try the one, say pink, for example. If the week was a pink week, then Monday I would try the first pink look. Okay, do my best to copy whatever photo or whatever video I saw. Okay, and take photos as well of myself once the look was complete, right? So that would be Monday. Then the whole of Monday I have my pink rough draft attempted look, right? And some days it works out, some days it does not. Okay. Then day 2, I would try the next pink look, and day 3, I would try the third pink look. Usually it was about 3 looks that I went for. Then what I would do is on Thursday, I would go back to look 1, okay? And I would try and do as much of it without relying on the photo as possible. But I also really didn't punish myself if I still did it, because some of the looks were a little bit more complicated than others, okay? But I would at least have a second attempt at that same look, and it would be easier the second time around because I kind of knew what to do better than I did the first time. And on Friday, I would do Tuesday's look. On Saturday, I would do Wednesday's look. And then on Sunday, I would do the look that I liked best, right? So that was really my schedule for my makeup. And the next week, it would be orange. And then the following week would be purple. And the other week would be blue. And the other week would be green. Then it would be natural or gold, and then back to, you know what I mean? So in a matter of weeks, I learned how to do so many of these looks, and I even had my favorites, and I even had my go-to. And this just made the makeup experience more enjoyable and more manageable for me, and much less daunting, okay? And once I'd mastered, the palettes, then I started learning the other stuff, the highlight and the contours and all of that other stuff, right? So that was makeup. Then once I felt like, okay, I have a grip on this, and I can now add something else every week, because if I don't have a lot of time, I know these are my 2 go-to looks. If I have time, these are the different looks that I can try. And I even started experimenting within those, like kind of creating my own little things, my own little looks. Okay, so then I moved on to hair, and it was the same thing. I would look for different hairstyles based on the hair that I had, if it was my hair, or if it was extensions, or if it was a wig. I would literally do the exact same thing. If this week we're doing bone straight middle part, then that's what we're going to do Monday. Then Tuesday, maybe we'll try bone straight side part. Wednesday, we'll try bone straight the other side part. Thursday, you know what I mean? Go back to the first one, and so on and so forth. If you're gonna do curls, tried, the curling in, curling out, big curls, small curls, curling with iron rods, those curl rods, or using other methods. There's a method that I even learned. If you follow me on Instagram, or on TikTok, you would have seen I use socks. So that was, part of learning how to style and, basically play with my hair. And when you curl it, the first day the curls are going to be tight. The next day they might be a little bit more loose. The hair might be a little bit more wavy. Learning how to deal with that as well, and how to style that, right? And then also accessorizing. I that was something that I also had to really get into, because yeah, it's not something that I did a lot with my hair. Okay, so learning to accessorize my hair was also a big thing. So hair bands, Alice bands, clips, all of that kind of stuff, just to add extra flavor, and just an extra element of beauty, or cuteness, or just yeah. um so that was also something that really helped me to raise my um hair game. Okay, and that was once again on a weekly basis. And then the same thing with outfits. Now, with outfits, it was a little bit different. It wasn't necessarily like a weekly thing, every day, this is what I'm going to wear. But I did spend a lot of time researching things on Pinterest, and making sure that every time I bought an outfit or an item, it was something that was pre-planned. Okay, so the first thing was to get rid of everything that didn't serve me anymore in my wardrobe. The colors, the fits, the sizes, whatever that just did not correspond, I decided to give it away, just so I didn't even have the option. And what I was left with was a very thin wardrobe. And I challenged myself to grow it slowly. And what that made me do is it made me buy pieces that hit all the notes. They were the right color, they were the right fit, they were the right shape, and I was very specific about, in the beginning especially, about buying stuff that was going to help me achieve my dating goals. So I made sure I had a little red dress. I didn't even bother with a black dress, because I've learned that black is a color that everybody goes to. So if you walk into a restaurant on a date and you're wearing black, you're going to be one of the more than 50% of the people that are there. So red is one of those colors that you want to really stand out with. So I made sure that I did that. I made sure that I factored all of that in. And when I started buying clothes for work as well, I made sure that, it ticked those boxes of complementing who I am, what I was carrying forth, right? And it's still an ongoing process, and that's really the part that I want to emphasize as well, ladies, is that leveling up and upgrading is a process. It's not a once off type of thing. It's not like a makeover. Even with a makeover, yes, in one day you could literally look totally different, but you have to maintain that look every day, right? And if you don't pick up certain skills, you're just gonna go back to whatever you were doing eventually. That's just, if that's your default. So it's an ongoing thing, being leveled up. So even now, I don't just buy something that I think looks cute, because that's how I used to buy my clothes. I'll actually plan an outfit, and make sure that whatever it is that I buy is versatile enough to be able to go with different pieces that are already in my wardrobe. You want to be able to get the maximum out of it as well, right? But you really do want to be able to almost grab anything in your wardrobe and know that it's going to gel. That's kind of the mentality that I have when it comes to my wardrobe now, right? And having those kind of outfits in your mind that are your go-to, whether it's a date, girls' night, work situation, family situation, whatever. Have those go-to outfits that minimize the stress of getting dressed every day. Okay. So then what I would do is every week or every other week, okay, totally up to you, but what I would do every week to reward myself for all my effort is Sunday would be like my let's go for a spin day. And I would have the hair that I was happy with, that, you know, I figured out that week. I would have the makeup look that I was happy with, and I would have maybe the outfit depending on that day. So then what I would do is I would literally take myself out for a spin. So if it's errands, if it's, you know, let's go out for a coffee, just sit and enjoy looking the way that I did, right? Whatever it is, I made sure that I would reward myself so that it would reinforce this new habit, and it would put my mind in a different setup altogether, because then I could see how people responded to how I look. And I always made sure that I took myself to like really nice places so that I associated this new look with a new lifestyle, almost a new version of myself. And when people responded a certain way, I was more open to it because I was already kind of playing pretend in my mind, like, oh, let's pretend this is who I really am every day, right? And if you pretend enough, that's who you become, right? So if you're always looking good, if you're always dressed well, if you're always well groomed, and if you're always taking yourself to nice areas, nice places, even if it's just for a coffee or just for bread and milk, if you do that for 6 months, that's who you become. If you do that for 2 years, that's who you become. You know what I mean? So leveling up, like I always say, it's not a one size fits all. It's not a once off. It's nothing like that. It's almost like an evolution. That's how I see it. And once again, it depends on what goals you have for your level up, and how far you're willing to go, and how fast you're willing to go, right? Because if you are leveling up on a weekly basis like this, and you have a schedule like this, you are probably going to reach your goals much quicker, and whatever those goals are. And it's totally up to you, ladies. You have to do what works for you. You have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be honest with the results that you're gonna get also. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you ladies over here. If you have a level up schedule yourself, please do share it down below. What have you really focused on in terms of your level up that has changed the game for you? Is it your makeup? Is it eyebrows? Because I know that's a big one as well. Is it your style of dress? What is it that you have picked up that has upgraded you? And what kind of results are you getting? And definitely make sure that you share that down below. Share this with whoever you think will benefit from seeing this. And I will definitely see you, beautiful ladies, in the next one. And remember to stay feminine. Bye.